We'll get rolling. All right. So thanks for joining me. I'm Marnie Stockman, CEO of Lifecycle Insights, and we're going to walk through what it looks like to get the data in Lifecycle Insights and what data we provide and what kind of output you can get to deliver better business reviews. So as we roll along, if you have questions, you can put them in chat or in the Q&A. I'll try to keep an eye on both of those. As a matter of fact, I'll pull up the chat so it's in front of me, and we will get rolling. So one of the things that Lifecycle Insights aims to do, three things. We aim to automate asset lifecycle management, user reporting, and a full technology budget forecast for your clients. On another side of the house, we aim to help you deliver risk assessments. That is not the automated piece, right? The automated is the first components that I talked through. And then the third thing is to tie those together into recommendations so that you can really align the technology roadmap you deliver to your partners with their business goals and risks, et cetera. So we've got automation, we've got risk assessment, and we've got building the technology roadmap. So I'm going to walk through those pieces. Lifecycle Insights came to be because we saw this problem in the space. So I come from the world of customer success. I was in the ed tech space, ran a large ed tech customer success program, and had done a large number of QBRs in my day, good, bad, and otherwise, and watched many along the way. And happened to be out, the developers and I were looking for a way where we could scale what we had learned into a product. And I ran into an MSP, Alex Farling, who had I'd played volleyball with for 25 years. I asked him if there were any problems in the space. And he said, yeah, I spent 8 hours a day cobbling together my QBR from all of these platforms. And then he started throwing out RMM, PSA, and lots of other documentation platform, Excel spreadsheets. And he had two concerns. I'm not sure the data is accurate. It takes a long, and then I'm not sure. So it's not accurate and it takes forever. Plus, he had concerns that he couldn't make it look good because everything was kind of the cobbling together piece. So that's what we're aiming to solve for folks. So the first thing we do is start with automation pulling from a PSA. So we do require one of our primary integrations, ConnectWise Manage, that'll auto task, Halo, Synchro, or IT Glue. We pull over your companies, your contacts, and your assets so that we can drive first a data quality score. So in the drop-down picker in the top of the screen, I can select different clients, and it's going to tell me what their data quality score is based on make, model, serial number, because we're going to do warranty lookups on Dell, Lenovo, HP, Microsoft Surface, Cisco, Meraki, and SmartNet. So that will clean up your data. We'll report off of any other data that you have in the PSA. So if you have other types of devices in your PSA, we will absolutely give you the asset reporting on it. We just can't go look up new warranties on them. And that will deliver our asset list. So here you're going to get reporting on asset end of life, operating system end of life, warranty, expiration, etc. So I have hidden some of my columns. Let me go in and add my columns back in. Warranty expiration date. We'll leave the column that in there. Operating system, last RMM user. Okay, perfect. So it's a very flexible report. Obviously, you can kind of design your own report with the rows and columns that you have. But the goal here is to get in red, yellow, green when the operating systems expire, warranties expired, etc. So in Lifecycle Insights, we have what's called swatching. So this is the ability to filter the report without having to run Excel pivot tables, etc. So if I look at the operating system column and I see blue, green, red swatches, I can swatch away the blue, the green, and the yellow, and then I'm left with the assets whose operating systems have expired. I could select all of these and create a recommendation from here. And this is going to push to the technology roadmap, as well as the budget. We're going to talk more about that from the other end, but I wanted you to see how if while you're working within the specific asset list, you find assets that need to be addressed, you can handle that right from there. Once you've built the report the way you like it, maybe instead of operating systems, you wanted to look at all of the assets where the warranties had expired, but the devices were not at end of life. This is where maybe you would go out and buy a manufacturer warranty, et cetera. You could lock this, right? This is how I want this report to be sent out. And then I can schedule this report for email delivery to your inbox or your client's inbox or both. The other thing that a lot of folks like about Lifecycle Insights is you can create a security group that will allow you to give your clients access to use this as a portal. So they could then log in and you can define whether they have read or read-write access to any given page in the platform or multiple menu items, for example. So you could give them access to log in. This works really well with co-managed IT to really partner with other folks. And some of the larger clients ask to see this, with their managed service provider. So you can provide it again as an email or they can log in. We have the same type of reporting around user reporting. Now for the users, we also integrate with Microsoft 365, either delegated admin credentials or direct configuration. And here you can answer questions like, where are folks not in ConnectWise, but are in Microsoft? I can see they've got licenses. I can see that they haven't been active for more than 30 days and that MFA is disabled. So if you're having a conversation around the security posture for a client, this is a place to start for sure. We have some additional integrations. We have 2 cybersecurity phishing training integrations. So that is Breach Secure Now and Know Before. We have 2 SaaS monitoring integrations, Saslio and Augment, and we have Microsoft Secure Score and a CSAT with Smileback. So I'm going to show you what I'll just use Breach Secure Now as an example. If you have any of those integrations, you would also see additional columns where you can see the data from Breach Secure Now, including their latest phishing fail rate, ESS score, etc. And all of those additional reporting components, in addition to getting columns in the user list, also have a standalone report. So here you can see we've got Microsoft Secure Score. Again, the Breach Secure Now. So this is, if you are a Breach Secure Now partner, for example, this is the same data that they have in their platform. We just pulled it into Lifecycle Insights because if you've got all the data in one piece, there's less of that cobbling together. It also gives for a much more consistent look for your client instead of having sort of very, it looks very scattered if they have to look at lots of different types of reports. So it gives the data in a consistent view. I'll show you a Saslio report. I mentioned Smileback, which pulls over CSAT scores. We have other integrations in each of those 3 categories: phishing, cybersecurity phishing training, SaaS usage, and CSAT that we are building. So those are just the first ones in. And then we have a ticket summary board. Again, I mentioned I've done a lot of QBRs in my day, and I know for sure you don't want to go in there and do a ticket autopsy on every ticket that you've done for your client in the past 3 months. So giving you a high level view of what you have done for them makes sense. The other piece that we pull over from Manage and Auto Task, we automate contracts or agreements additions. So we can pull that into the platform. If you are a Halo or Synchro partner or ITGLE, you can manually enter them. So if we import these from Manage, we're going to be able to build a budget forecast with all of your services on there. But more importantly than that, we allow you to add a third-party contract. So I've just pulled up a sample one. That's our Verizon contract. When you're working with a partner and we're aiming to deliver a full budget forecast to them, not just a bill of sale of how they're going to pay your MSP next year, but all of their IT services. The more you can show them that technology is running their business, the more they understand the importance of a managed service provider, and the more they really budget for a true technology platform. Even we have found that folks say that they know they're paying for managed services, but they still have a very break fix mentality because they feel like they don't want to pay for something until it breaks. But when you start including all of their contracts into their budget, they begin to see that really this is a leveled expense when I look at it as a subscription-based service. So here I've got a phone service. We see printer copier, ISP providers, line of business applications, those types of things that if you can provide all of that to your partner, they really appreciate the full technology budget. You can enter the billing cycle. So it might be a Meraki license, for example, that's maybe every 2 years or 3 years. So you can enter, again, manually or pull them over from Manage or Auto Task. When you do that, this automates the budget forecast. And as I mentioned, that's what we're aiming for with our automation, is to deliver a budget to your partner. So we've got a couple different views. We've got the spreadsheet view you see here. We've got a detail view, and all of them expand. So if you want to see the individual components, you can. And we have a lot of options in terms of the reporting. We can do quarterly, monthly, or yearly budgets up to 12 cycles. So a lot of our partners do a 12-month line item detailed budget of all the assets that are going to be replaced in the next year. And then a 5-year wide angle guest budget, so that it gives your partners an opportunity to budget and to really project the work they want to do forward. You also get insights into, if you've included their line of business application, maybe when they're going to have a high spend year or a high spend month, and that's not the right time to go try to upsell them to server replacements, right? So insights into the budget is powerful for them and powerful for you. So that's the bulk of the automation piece. If you have any questions in chat about that, let me know. I'll run through the integrations that we require again in order to be able to get the full use of Lifecycle Insights. We do require one of our primary integrations. My demo site happens to use IT Glue, but we also offer ConnectWise Manage, Auto Task, Halo, or Synchro. And then supplemental data, you can see in the middle of the screen. Any or all of these are available to you, and we do not charge for additional integrations. So if you had every single one of these tools, you could plug all of them in and get reporting around that. And then lastly, we do warranty lookups on Dell, Lenovo, HP, Microsoft Surface, Cisco, Meraki, and SmartNet. I have a question in the chat that asked if that we integrate with Microsoft 365. Do we also integrate with Google? We do not integrate directly with Google, though some folks are able to get their Google data with the LineGuard integration. So if you're a LineGuard partner, we can pull that over. The other thing that we have seen folks do is that they download from the Google Workplace and then upload it into the platform. So you could upload that to get those columns, but we don't have a native integration with Google. Thanks for the question. Okay, I'm going to now jump to the assessment portion. Again, feel free to put comments in chat if you have them as we go. Many folks come to us without an assessment in place, and we have a whole library of assessments that you can choose from. Many folks come with some documented assessment, and they're able to either create their own in the platform, edit one of ours, or import what they already have. So if you are using another platform for assessments, we can probably import that in here, and you can take a look and edit it, etc. So some of our most popular assessments right now, we have the Fifth Wall. It's a cybersecurity insurance company, aggregated 35 different cyber insurance carrier policies for us into one form. So that's a powerful conversation for your partners, right? It's not you saying that they require these security needs, but your insurance company, you might not be able to get a cybersecurity insurance writer if you don't, meet these requirements. So that's a good conversation to have. A lot of folks use some or all of that assessment. And then we have a default assessment, which I'm going to walk through today, but you can see we've got a library of quite a few. And as we partner with other vendors, if you've seen us in webinars where we've chatted with Simian Cloud and Blumira and Huntress, et cetera, a lot of those partners have supplied us with questions that you can use to help sell their products and services as well. So I'm going to go into an assessment and show you our default template, and you'll get a sense of what that looks like. So one of the pieces of Lifecycle Insights is that We charge per active client, right? So whichever clients you want to automate all of the things I did before with the asset lifecycle management, the user reporting, and the budget forecast, that is what you're paying for, those clients, the number of clients that you have access to there. You can run assessments on all of the rest of your clients or prospects for free. So our basic package is $75 a month. You can get 5 active clients and you can do prospect assessments on 25 other people. Doesn't matter. So here we are in the assessment. In a shocking turn of events, Lifecycle Insights does red, yellow, green scoring. So just like you would expect, you go click the radio button of what you want to score. You can add public comments. You can add private comments. You can see how anyone has previously scored this assessment. So if you have a team of folks doing business reviews, or if you're replacing someone, you can see how it was previously responded to. And then larger teams really like that they can add scoring instructions and explanation remediation tips. If you're struggling to scale business reviews because they take too long and it feels like you're reinventing the wheel every time, this could be why. Because you're always having to guess at, oh, how did I answer that question last time? Where do I go look? If you can link to your documentation right in here and provide the responses that you want to give, it really streamlines the process. A couple other pieces you might notice on the screen. We've got a green button for creating PSA tickets. So lots of places in the platform, for example, in an asset itself, you can see that you can create a PSA ticket. So if you notice a problem, this one needs patching, for example, we could say create a PSA ticket and it'll open right up in Manage or Autotask, etc. We also have the ability to tag items. So a lot of folks tag this for tier 1 is going to respond to these items, and we can filter it by those tags. The reporting on this, we have a couple different views. First, here's the summary view. So this gives, if we're talking to a prospect and we say, we've run an assessment for you and we see your technology health is about a 40%, they typically understand that red is bad and green is good, and you don't see a lot of green in their site. What a lot of folks do is run an assessment twice. So they run it when they first, a baseline of this is where you are now. And then they run it again saying, if you come work with us, this is how we're going to move the needle straight out of the gate. We'll still have some work to do, but you're at a 41. Just onboarding with us, we can move you to a 77. And then we do really need to talk about, the hardware score, which is still low. So we're going to need to do an asset refresh, but we don't want to, shock and awe you at the beginning with a complete overhaul. So we want to parse that out over time with what makes sense for your budget, and your environment. And then the power of this. So many folks say I could do this in a spreadsheet. Yep, you could. I could track my assets and pull them from my RMM. Yep, you could for sure. But this is tying the two things together that help connect the business need for your client with the outcome that you're trying to help them deliver with the technology forecast. So I can go into, these are all of my responses. So I can see that in the hardware category, there were several at-risk responses. So I'm going to grab a couple of them because they're all about aged assets that are at end of life. And I'm going to create a recommendation from those items. So now this screen should look familiar. I showed you the recommendation screen from the asset view before. Now I can add assets back into this. And I can say, you know what? We're going to finally get rid of those Windows 7 machines I've been telling you to get rid of. You can set this in a time period, right? There are a lot of options here. You can add labor costs, material costs, recurring costs, etc. And when you save it, it will land on the recommendation board. So here we have a Kanban style board where you can drag and drop and you can see what's not scheduled. So these are the ones we just built and didn't have a time frame for. Maybe your client says, I really need to move that recommendation to Q2 next year. And it'll move it in the budget as well as on the recommendation board. The other view we have is a status board. So you can see now these columns say proposed, customer accepted, planned, and declined. So it's important to keep top of mind for your client. If you've declined some of these recommendations, that's really a threat to your business. So you're accepting some risk because you've declined the recommendations that we have made. And they also then can see, well, these are proposed and I need to start thinking about where I can move them along the way. This is the time of year to send a budget to your partners for next year, right? With 2 months left in the year. This is when they're planning for next year. They might have some end of year spend down money. It's the time to have those conversations for sure. And again, these pieces push forward to the budget forecast as line items there. So you can bundle some of those expired assets and risk pieces together to solve the problem and provide them a roadmap. The beauty of this also is that you get a recommendation roadmap across all of your clients. So now you're able to see where your project money's coming in, right? Where you've got recurring revenue coming and what it looks like for your team. You can scale up more easily. You can see, I need to slow down in booking out Q4. I'm already full. We've sold $100,000 worth of projects, and that's about all the team can handle. So it gives you better insights into the work that you're assigning within the company as well. I'll show you 2 more pieces. Again, if you've got questions, just warm up your fingers and put them in the chat. The scheduler is a view within Lifecycle Insights, so it doesn't connect to the calendar. It's within Lifecycle, and it lets you segment your customers into who deserves a quarterly business review, semi-annual, annual, etc., so that you can pace yourself. Don't plan on doing 75 business reviews, December 20th. And when you go into a particular business review, you can track all of the notes that you keep along the way, and you can open tickets. If after your business review, you've said, okay, they've accepted 3 recommendations, we're going to create a PSA ticket to kick off that project in our PSA. So that's how a lot of folks use the scheduler and the business review component to really, again, scale a process for business reviews. So I've shown you lots of the bells and lots of the whistles. I told you I'd do it in less than 30 minutes. And I'm going to land on where the last webinar that I mentioned started, and that is in Report Builder. So if you missed last time, what I talked about was Report Builder, and Alex and I went through Report Builder and built a business review by stacking these components that I'm interested. So I might want an assessment summary template, for example. Grab my button. So you can see on the left-hand side, I'm starting to I'll add a know before template. I can add an asset list. So whatever you would like, you can build multiple templates that will allow you to define your business review, the stack that you're going to deliver, your portfolio of reports. I'm going to cheat and go grab the QBR your customer deserves. And you will see on the left-hand side, like a PowerPoint, we can now click through and see all of the reporting that it just auto-populates the report because I'd already built it. So I have a question in the chat that said, is there any plan to generate ConnectWise opportunities instead of tickets from recommendations? Happy to report, yes, there is. It will probably be Q1 of 2023. But yes, that has actually already been approved by development, so we will work toward that one. Definitely. You can download this to Word or PDF, or you can put it in presentation mode. And that will then let you click through this instead of having to build a PowerPoint slide deck. And the beauty of being in here as you discuss it is that when you're in the budget forecast, for example, you can still click in and get the details. So what are those pieces, what are those recommendations that you've made? And when do they fall, etc. So that is how we get to where we started the last time. So again, I put the YouTube link for that if you want to see more of how Report Builder can be customized. That kind of goes along with this webinar. The other piece that I will share is our pricing page. We do have a 30-day free trial for both our 5 and 25 client packages. So everything I talked about here is in this leftmost module, the VCIO package. So for $75 a month, it's up to 5 active customers. You can either click add VCIO package or click here for free VCIO trial. I'll just click through so you can see the other pricing pieces along the way. And then I'll explain what these other components are. Customer success is an add-on. It doubles the cost. And you really, we require you to have the VCIO package because it takes the data from there to populate customer segmentation, health, stack alignment, etc. If you're interested in seeing what that looks like, make sure you follow us on YouTube. And I already have your name, so just don't unsubscribe to my email, and I will make sure you get an invite to the a customer success webinar that we'll have on that one. The Asset Insight Reporting, or AIR, is just a warranty lookup asset reporting component. It is included for the people that you already have active in VCIO. So if you're currently thinking, I just have one big client I want that for, you can just get the VCIO package and get all of the things, including asset lifecycle management. If you're thinking, well, I've got one big client, I want all the things, but I've got 40 other clients that I would love the asset reporting, that's where you would want Asset Insights. It's $79 to get unlimited companies, unlimited endpoints for the warranty lookups, again, on Dell, Lenovo, HP, Microsoft Surface, Cisco, Meraki, and SmartNet. So I will put the link to this pricing page in the chat. We are lifecycleinsights.io. So want to make sure you land in the right place if you're interested. Onboarding, we have DIY if you're interested, with a checklist in the platform with a lot of video documentation and knowledge-based articles. We do one-on-one conversations whenever you would like. And we have a weekly cadence, Wednesdays at 1 Eastern time, which is recorded. And it's 30 minutes of content, group onboarding, 30 minutes of Q&A. And like I said, it is recorded. So I've hidden my help button down here. If you type welcome and click on new to LCI, you get the videos to walk you through those pieces. So any comments, questions, complaints, or criticisms? I will send out a follow-up email, include the recording for this, as well as the pricing page if you're interested. And if you want to have a one-on-one chat anytime, happy to do it. Thank you for joining me.